Hey, welcome back to another Black City Coffee vlog. It is September 23rd, 2021. I'm currently documenting the process of rebranding Black City Coffee Roasters. This is episode 4. So today I'm talking about uncovering the essence of a brand. Specifically, Black City Coffee brand. Like, what is it? It's nothing right now. What is the essence of a brand? Why should you care about it? How will it help me? Apparently immensely at this point. I've been going back and forth with my designer, and after we had did that little exercise of checking yes, no, of the images that I liked and didn't like, and shapes and outlines and fonts and all that stuff, the visual stuff, we started to go a little bit deeper, which is the essence, right? His email's here, and I'm reading it. I shared some more thoughts about, he asked me this very broad question, which is, how would you describe what you do? Like, could you do that in one sentence? And then I gave him this very, like, salesy sort of sentence where I'm like, I sell coffee, fresh. He's like, there's a better way to say that. Like, how could you not use the same words that everybody else is using? How could you really get to the meat, right? And what he's saying now, which is like, how can you get to the essence of what you're saying? So I read more into that. This is what I said. I hope to inspire people to discover new levels of love in their life by creating conscious coffee. That was my shot in the dark. And he said he riffed on this. He gave his own thoughts on it. And he ended up with this: I empower enlightened people to become coffee lovers through conscious coffee, a journey of self-discovery. Or I inspire coffee lovers' confidence in their craft through conscious coffee. And then he goes on to say, distill this more. How about half of this half? Then distill it again, half of that, and again. Like, oh God. So we're really going deep, very deep into this process of, what do you mean? Who are you in your very, when I looked it up here on Ipsos, who are you in your soul? Right? It says soul in here somewhere. Soul of the brand. Brand essence is compact summary of what the brand stands for, typically as a part of a more detailed brand key. Typically expressed in 3 to 5 words that captures the soul of the brand's fundamental nature or quality. Some examples are, for Disney World, magical fun. Okay. Starbucks, rewarding everyday moments. Right? And I don't think I've even heard any of these. This is what's interesting to me. McDonald's, food, folks, and fun. I've heard this one. BMW, driving pleasure. Yes. Nike, authentic athletic performance. Sometimes referred to as brand mantra, rallying cry, or the core brand promise. Herein lies the big pickle, is having this huge idea of what you think your brand is. Especially in the beginning, I think it's going to be very tough to kind of figure this out. But we definitely are going to need to, because it's difficult to really nail down, we need to go very, very deep. What is driving everything that I'm doing here at Black City Coffee? I'm trying to be my own therapist at this point, which I'm no stranger to. Essence, soul, mantra, rallying cry, 3 to 5 words. I'm too overwhelmed at this point. So let's take a look at the phrase that I coined. I don't know if I coined it, but I just have this vibe that I'm going off of, which I called it conscious coffee. Conscious coffee was the first phrase I thought of that led to Honor the Cup. Honor the Cup. That seems more like a campaign. Now that I'm thinking about it, like an ad campaign. We're going to call this campaign Honor the Cup, which I was effective. I started to run this message of like giving back to Grounds for Health, saying that, some of our profits goes to charity. This charity in particular, Honor the Cup, right? A campaign. Cool. So that was my first mistake, was thinking of my mantra or my essence as an ad campaign. So that's mistake number one. So in order to go deeper, I really have to think about, he's pointing me in the direction of consider embracing some of the key points as core values. Conscious coffee, redefining cool. I write about that later. Embracing imperfections, which I also write about, and real transparency. So he made this word up. Real transparency. Keep in mind, claiming something is real means others are not. And he goes on to explain, this seems like a core value. You should be prepared to back this up with how. I love how thorough he is. He's really making me think beyond what sounds cool or what feels cool and really going into the core, into the root, into what's really going to muster some, I don't know, emotion, something real, something authentic. Not just something that sounds nice. I mean, I think this is all prefaced. This whole video should be prefaced with, I think this is what you mean. Okay. So anyway, it's a journey. Coffee is very personal. It's definitely part of my identity. I identify with, having a certain cup of coffee brewed a certain type of way in a certain type of cup, even. Every single day. And if I don't have that, I feel just a little bit off, right? And I'm sure you guys can relate. If you're a coffee drinker, anyway. Or if you're tea, maybe tea does that for you too, whatever. For this, and I don't want to belabor this too much, and it's not like I want to be in a hurry as well, I want to give things its time, but I think a solid week, if I'm conscious, if I am intentional about my energy towards this problem that I have, that I could solve it. And I have to first believe that I can solve this problem instead of doing what I've done in the past, which is because I feel some sort of hard or challenge or limitation to my thinking that I can't go deeper. And a lot of times I find in my experience when I'm hitting a wall of creativity or trying to just answer this question, like, what is your essence? I'm really, if I haven't found an answer that I can be satisfied with, there's just something else in the way distracting me, I just need to give myself the time, the space to give my full attention, and I will find the answer. Or I will find an answer that will satisfy me for that time, As my designer says, this is not final by any means, but offers you one more perspective to consider, right? So this is about distilling. So I'm not going to distill the best of what I can come up with at this time. It's just not going to happen. And I'm okay with that, right? We have to be okay with that. But it doesn't mean that we can't give our best intent at this time so that we can at least get to a certain point, right? I hope that makes sense. That's just saying to myself, give this a solid try. Give this your best. Because this is an issue. And I find that if I keep only going 2 levels deep when I'm supposed to go, 10 levels deep, right? I'm only going to know how it feels to go 2 levels deep. I need to be able to learn and be comfortable with pushing past into the 3rd, into the 4th, into the 5th, into the 6th, and so on and so forth, and just get comfortable with pushing past my own limitations and my own way of thinking. So how I like to do that, pushing past limitations in my own mind to get to the essence of things. And this has happened before in other parts of my life. It's like, what is really going on under there? What is the core? We're in the symptoms. What's the source? So it's not like I have zero experience, and you'll find that if you're coming up against something like this, some kind of limitation, you have experience of pushing past something. I think you wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't. So I'm just assuming, but I'm pretty sure. So Google is my best friend in this case, or I love to listen to podcasts or creators outside of the industry. Every now and again, I look towards a content creator who's consistently been creating content about this type of stuff. Tim Ferriss is an obvious one. Gary Vaynerchuk, if I need a lot of energy, if I'm really low. I won't go to any coffee influencers because I find that I need something totally different to make me find the right perspective. Definitely I'll reach out to designers, fashion designers, cooks, chefs, things like that, and try to address this puzzle in that way. Here's my plan. Conscious coffee. Maybe break that down. Redefine cool. I almost sound too weird I don't know. That's kind of a big claim. Embrace imperfections. We can say this better. Real transparency. We can definitely say all of these words a little bit more better, something that would make sense for the industry, something that would speak well to those who are in this industry, who are coffee drinkers, coffee lovers. Conscious coffee. You can get an idea, I think, for what that is and to be conscious. The alliteration is nice too, conscious coffee. Redefine cool. It seems like a hefty claim. I don't try to be cool, although I am very aware of how powerful the cool factor can be in marketing, and I always feel on the outside of that. So, like, for example, I'm a Mac user, but I don't pretend to, know everything about Mac and everything, and you know what I mean? Because Mac's very cool. They're very, akin to the cool kids. I'm a user, right? But I wouldn't say, I'm cool, even though I use it. That's kind of how I feel about my coffee, too. I'm like, I don't feel that I'm cool about it. I kind of, in a way, feel nerdy about it. Embrace imperfections. Yeah, so I was telling my designer that in a world where we measure coffee by the gram, right? We make third wave water and all that stuff. I don't do that on a normal basis. I was never like that. I was never meticulous with measurement. I try to do it a little now, which is that's enough for me. But I like that, So I definitely don't try to be perfect, but I know what perfect is, and I'll place myself below that spectrum or below that standard, but know that at least I'm in the top. I want to be in the top, but I don't want to be the top, if that makes sense. And then real transparency. Yeah, I may be one of the few who really show from top to bottom exactly what I do, from buying green to packaging it and then shipping it off to you. I've probably made some content from start to finish. And a lot of times I didn't even edit it very cool. I just shot it and put it out there, right? And my designer says that's very transparent. And it's not common. I was like, yeah, well, I like doing that stuff. I like the silence in between things. I'm not always trying to sell something or, do that kind of thing. And I've been thinking about this idea of brand. And the brand, I as a business can say, hey, this is my essence, right? Like if we go take Star Wars, rewarding everyday moments, like maybe they say that's their essence. But the brand, I find, and with research as well, it's the public and the people or the market that will say something about your brand or something about your company, and that is the brand. So what people are saying about you, your reputation, the buzz around the buzz or not the buzz around your company is the brand. So I think it's important for me as I'm trying to distill this idea of essence, that it doesn't necessarily have to be this thing that I'm going to put on every cup or every bag of coffee, but it has to drive me as a business owner and the person who's making the decision behind what the symbol looks like, or the logo, right? The logo or the symbol or the mark, what that looks like. And then have that influence what's happening in the business. Do you see the difference, right? So the brand is, how do I get people talking? How do I keep producing content and product that keep people producing a reputation that, works for us? That comes from the essence. And that's what I have to figure out. And I have to distill down to. That was helpful. I had been mulling this around in my head, inside my head, and not out loud. So that was helpful. And I hope I'm correct in that. But to me, it makes sense. So we're going to stay with that. Conscious coffee. I think I definitely want to keep this word of conscious coffee. Maybe not so much redefine cool. There's a better way to say embrace imperfections. And then real transparency. Yes, we have to say this. That's part of my brand. That's part of what I do. I do that as much as I can. I like to show exactly what I'm doing. And this is a proper coffee break. It's like 1:45 in the afternoon. Perfect timing. So here we go. With real transparency, we're just going to go to the whiteboard in case I put my notebook. Start working some things out. I already have some stuff going. I'm going to keep conscious coffee for now. And we're going to start with one word at a time. I'm not going to say redefine cool. Let's just let people see that it's cool. Okay? And decide for themselves if it's cool or not to, live in the world of Black City coffee. You make that choice. Because I definitely don't want any haters up in here. Okay, this one. Let's work on this one. Embrace imperfections. What can we distill this down to? Discovery. I'm just going to throw words out. I love to do this as well. Anytime I'm writing or trying to create content or just give myself a broader vocabulary, I just go to the thesaurus. And it always brings back, my parents had a thesaurus and a dictionary. And I always looked at the thesaurus so that I could see the other ways that you could say stuff. So I will look up, let's see, discovery. Let's put that in there. Or no, let's put imperfection, because that's really what I want to find another better word for. Oh, yeah. These aren't really that great. Unearth. Unearth. Huh. It was really helpful to see these huge brands and what they say. Rewarding everyday moments. Because you're going to Starbucks every day, aren't you? McDonald's. Food, folks, and fun. Driving pleasure. So it'll be this word here, whatever we replace with embrace imperfections, and I think we'll put conscious coffee here at the end. Blank conscious coffee, and I want 3 words. Crafted conscious coffee. Crafted conscious coffee. CCC, alliteration. We follow McDonald's example, food, folks, and fun. Crafted conscious coffee. Crafted. I feel like this word crafted. Okay. So far, I like this, where we're going. See, so when we can really funnel and direct our energy correctly, sometimes we may get a spark, an idea that we can be pleased with, right? It's crafted conscious coffee. See, that's what's going to be nice when I finally actually figure this out. It'll be, you know, almost the elevator pitch that you say in the elevator or in passing, that you could say very quickly, that just that captures everything that you mean. That you would say this, and then you can distill from it all the things you want to say. But this first step, this first brand mantra, must be clear and unique to you. And it's crazy because I've done this, like I told you guys, I've done this so many times, but I think I've never found somebody to really help me distill, and keep distilling and do that work with me. I haven't found anybody like that. So I'm really grateful for, his name is Nathan. I'm really grateful for Nathan to help me out with this. Because I feel like like I said, if I practice how to push through my own limitations, my typical limitations, which was only going to like level 2, and if I can get to level 3, 4, 5 and get that practice in with him as I'm doing it right now, and really understanding the difference when I do that, then cool, we're going to be on our way. It just, nice green flags. Crafted conscious coffee. That's idea 1. Let's come up with another one. So that's pure, maybe. How about the word just? Just, like, simply. If we try to name it how Disney World names it, magical fun. There's a magic there for sure. You have fun there. So what happens? It's a place. So that's the wrong place. But Starbucks is these are all like, you go there. You don't really go there with me. BMW. Okay, it may be more appropriate for me to look at BMW and Nike. Okay, so let's try that. What do you do with a BMW? You have driving pleasure. Okay, what do you do with Black City Coffee? Discover conscious coffee. Discover. Because I want you to discover, or it's conscious coffee discovered. Or the reverse of that, right? So, or it's conscious coffee discovered. Conscious coffee exposed. Exposed. That sounds a little risque. Kind of brings out the femininity of it. I asked Nathan. I'm very masculine in everything that I've been doing and putting out. I'm comfortable with that. But there is a femininity side to me that I have not yet really gave any attention to. Not in coffee anyway. And I was like, does it fit anywhere? And he didn't really have an answer for me. But, it's something to think about, I guess. So, all right. But I kind of like it, like, exposed. It's like kind of sexy a little bit. All right, exposed. We'll keep this here. We'll put a little asterisk near it. Hearts and question marks. Conscious coffee. Unlocked. Again, kind of masculine. Exposed sounds way better. All right, let's keep reading this article. I don't even know there's more to read here. All right, a good brand essence meets the following criteria. It should be relevant to consumers. It should capture something which is desirable. Desirable. See, is conscious coffee desirable? A lot of people don't. I'm kind of boasting this sort of self-help vibe. And I've done this forever. And it's not sexy. People do not want to change who they are just to drink your coffee. Because, and I was just talking to some girlfriends of mine. The fact that you're changing who you are or hinting at it means maybe can mean for you that there's something wrong with you right now, which that's not the case. It's a shame that we kind of look at everything so binary. But let's face it, we're humans, we're kind of binary sometimes. What I'm inviting people to do is like what I'm trying to do right now. How do I go deeper? Because I don't know what I don't know. And I gratefully and thankfully am able to be excited by the fact that I don't know what I don't know. For other people, that could scare people, right? So in order for us to have a successful brand, we should not want to be scaring people off with that. Let's take BMW, for example. It's not just a fancy car. I think in a lot of ways it represents that you've attained a certain amount of income, a status in your life. You're proud of it. And now you get to do this thing and reward yourself every day when you drive to work because you have BMW. And if you like cars, cool. And it's driving pleasure. You're driving pleasure. You've worked so hard perhaps in your life to attain this luxury in your life. And BMW is not the most expensive, luxurious car out there, but, that's the feeling that they are evoking with their brand. And a lot of times when you need to assess your own baby, your own brand, your own business for what it really is, you got to look at other people and see if you can see their business from an outside point of view so that you could do the same to yours. It's really, really difficult, by the way, because you're in it. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Thankfully, I have somebody on the outside who can help me with that. That's Nathan. Should be durable, stand over time, not just relevant for where the brand plays, but also where it might want to play in the future. It should be memorable, short, crisp, and punchy. It should capture the uniqueness or distinctiveness of a brand. It should be single-minded. It should synthesize, not sum up key areas of focus. It should be authentic to the brand, something which is believable. It's going to do all these things. It's like 3 words is the max. Designed for internal purposes to unite the whole company behind the brand, to make sure everyone stays focused on the core ambition of the brand, and is to have a measuring stick in evaluating marketing strategy and execution. It is not a brand slogan, right? Like I just said. So it's not a tagline. Nike, for instance, translates their brand essence, authentic athletic performance, into taglines like just do it or find your greatness. Right. Okay. So for me, Honor the Cup is a tagline and not a brand essence. It's nice to just, I assume that I'm on the right track before reading this. Good. Okay. What are people doing when they drink conscious coffee? They're discovering, I really do feel that. Like, I've personally discovered new depths of self, new layers of love, new forms of love by being conscious about coffee. I really like the word discover, but it needs second opinion. I like discover and I like crafted. Crafted conscious coffee. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below as we end this video and this little... I may come back in here, not record it, and think about things, and I'll update you in the next episode. Which one do you like? Crafted conscious coffee? Or... So that's one. One is crafted conscious coffee. Leave it in the comments. Or 2, discover conscious coffee. And I'd love to know why, if you would want to give me your why. I'm going to give this to my designer and see what he thinks. And I'll keep mulling it over. I've only dedicated an hour-ish to this. No, a little more than an hour. A little more than an hour, but not that long. So we'll keep mulling this over and keep trying to bring a present attention to this and really try to distill what is the essence of what we're trying to do here, so that it can in turn influence all the things that we need to do internally as a business. All right. Thanks for hanging out in this coffee break. We will see you next time in the next rebranding episode. See ya.